More of your go-to for all things home. This is Home Answers Radio, presented by JeffBuysYourHouse.com, Access, Level 10 Coatings, Steiner Homes, Center Guard Plumbing, and by American Beam and Steel. Once again, here's Roger Piper.
Your go-to for all things home. It's Home Answers Radio.
Hi, welcome to Home Answers. I'm Roger Piper. This show is all about your home, and we talk about everything to do with your home. And I'll make you one promise: if you spend the next few minutes with us, you'll probably pick up a tip or two that you hadn't heard before. Special guest today is Jeff Neidiger with Jeff Buys Your House. Jeff, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me back again.
All right. Now, when it comes to selling your house, it's never fun, right? I don't care what the situation is. It's never fun. But there are many reasons why you need to sell your house, you know, moving, maybe you inherited the house, things like that. But, you know, something in life pushes you to that decision. And when people reach out to you, what can you offer them when it comes to somebody needing to sell a house?
Well, I think the biggest thing that sticks out is going to be the guaranteed close, or the closest thing to a guarantee, right? It's the certainty behind our process. It's a simple offer, it's a simple process, and it's a simple close. And we're going to buy the house with cash, and it's going to be on your terms. So it's more of a relationship all the way through to closing. So it's a certainty around having a deal done, because you're right. The reason that a lot of these situations are uncertain with real estate, and it's inconvenient oftentimes, is because let's be honest, everybody knows about a deal that has fallen through, and people are left holding the bag, and so we don't want to put that on anybody.
Yeah, and it's never a certainty. Everybody's been through that. For any reason, something cannot close and go through that.
Right.
But if you're ready to sell your house, a lot of people just automatically will think about the traditional route, and that's where you hire a realtor. You have the realtor do, an appraisal. You set a price. You look at the condition of the home. There may be some issues with it and some things that they want to fix before it goes to market. And then you're going to be paying a commission, and you're also going to be going through the showings and all of that stuff. And when they talk about real estate transactions being very stressful, that's kind of what they're talking about. But let me ask you this, Jeff. If anybody is looking to sell a house, why wouldn't they give you a call to look at an alternative? Because if you meet with a realtor and they say, hey, you got 2 bathrooms that need to be remodeled before we show this, or a kitchen needs new cabinets, and you start thinking, okay, what do I need to do? Am I going to, a lesser price, things like that? When you walk in, you're saying, okay, here is a price that does not involve commission, does not involve any kind of, upgrades that need to happen. We're going to buy it as is. And when you start adding all of that up, I mean, I'm trying to think of a good reason why somebody wouldn't at least give you a call to find out what the alternative is to going the real estate route.
Well, of course, Roger, I would agree with you that folks that are interested in selling, they should give us a call. It's a free look. It's a free option from a trusted company. And don't take my word for it. Go ahead and do your research out and about. Talk to somebody or do your research on the internet. But I guess I can tell you a few things that our organization would help alleviate or remove, and that would be, the standard things. And it goes well beyond no commissions and as is type of sale, but it really is no repairs. There's no clean out. That ends up being a pretty big deal for most people. When we say no clean out, you really do get to take what you want. We say take your memories and then leave the rest for us. No showings, right? Beyond us coming out a time or two to meet with you. Beyond that, there's nothing, we don't have to show the house. You're not opening it up on a Saturday afternoon, when you're trying to enjoy your time or whatever. And then there's no contingencies. It's a cash offer. We're not concerned about financing falling through, and really no inspection issues beyond something that we might find, like we talked about. There's always a case or two that you may not know about that is extreme behind the wall or in the foundation. But as long as it's disclosed, we're certainly willing to move past that. And then what we add to that is the flexibility, like we already mentioned, the certainty, and the support, because, like you said, these are sometimes circumstances that kind of aren't the funnest thing to do, right? So we
Right.
provide the support all the way from contract all the way through closing.
Yep. And it's an alternative worth looking at because, and it's growing because people understand how complex the market can be when you go to sell. We're talking with
Right.
Jeff Neidiger with Jeff Buys Your House. You can give them a call. All right, 630-895-9530, 630-895-9530, and go to the website, jeffbuysyourhouse.com. Pretty easy to remember. And I always recommend that you do that. Jeff, we've talked about, the traditional way a lot. Okay, now I want to sell. All right, what am I going to do? Look at all my options. But let's talk about when something is thrust upon you, okay? You need to sell, maybe inheritance or some other situation. Give us an example of how you can help when it's, okay, it's been dropped in my lap and I got to sell.
Yeah, I can mention a lot of situations, but I think that we operate probably the best in those situations that maybe the homeowner or the seller feels like are very complex and probably a lot less traditional than just sticking a sign in the yard, taking some pictures, painting the bathroom, and putting it on for sale.
Mm-hmm.
I think we do our best in the situations where it's, like you said, maybe a little more complex. When maybe it's a senior living transition, we deal with a lot of those because those end up being there's a lot of timing constraints. You're up against the time frame. But a lot of times there's, people dealing with grief because they've lost a loved one. And like you said, it could be an inherited property. Sometimes these situations aren't just cut and dry.
Right.
And oftentimes we talk about the timing of these purchases. Sometimes people need more time, not less time. Some people need more time. They want to know that they have the guarantee or the certainty to offer, like we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe they need 60 days or 90 days. That's also not traditional.
Yeah.
Typically, when you're selling your house on the market, you've got a family waiting there to close, and they're going to move in. Well, that's because we don't do that. You have got a lot more control on your side of the court because you can help us. We can work together on a time frame that's best for you and your needs.
Yeah, that's always a mess, trying to figure out, the move in, the close, and, a lot of times it involves temporary housing and things like that if you're moving on. On your website, you have somebody that talks about their brother passing away. They were responsible for going through the house, cleaning it out, and selling it. And gave an easy way to take care of all of the stuff because they picked out the personal items and things like that. But then, they're going through the grief of somebody passing away. And then on top of that, they got to deal with this property. Tell us situations like that and how you can really help when, all of a sudden, I've just got this and I've got to do something with it.
Yeah, a lot of times these are very sensitive issues, right? So people are dealing with not just a piece of real estate, but it's an emotional attachment to the person, probably to maybe some of the belongings, and of course to the house, sentimental value. And that's where we probably do our best because we're a family-owned company, and so we want to come in and be a relationship and be a partner all the way through the transaction. But specifically to your question, I would say, when these types of situations come up and there are sensitive needs, we want to be listening first. So we're not just going to walk you through our entire process and say this is what everyone gets. Because we do what we do, how we do it, we can kind of make a custom fit and kind of a tailored approach to what you need. Again, the time frame or the specific closing. And I think one thing you mentioned, the reviews, Roger. If you kind of look through the reviews and comb through what actual sellers have said online about us, one of the words that sticks out is burden. And I just did a kind of a deep dive on this, and a lot of folks have said, "Hey, it was a burden for me, and they relieved that," or "I'm relieved of the burden."
Mm-hmm.
I think that kind of is the word. It's this heavy thing that it's not just cut and dry, and so we're able to come in and understand by listening, and then again a custom fit, custom purchase agreement that works best for you and your family and your situation, and working with heirs and multiple parties in the family to make sure we can get a smooth transition for you to your next step.
Yeah, there's no cookie cutter in this, is there, Jeff? Every
No,
situation is different. Everybody has different needs. They may want to close in 6 months. They want to close in 10 days. But
Exactly.
That's one thing that I think is that makes you a little bit different is that you really don't have a cookie cutter. You're going to find out. You're going to make it good for everybody, right? That's important.
Exactly. It really is. I think the best way for me to explain it is it really is a custom fit approach. Again, it's because we are the actual buyer. There's no middleman. There's no fine print that's going to take all of this away. We do what we do. It's very high integrity. We're veteran owned. I think you mentioned that. But we're going to make it work for you, and you should be feeling that up front, which is why we'll lead by asking hopefully really, really good questions and then listening to your response so that we can build this custom plan for you just to buy your house. It's not quite as simple as that sometimes, but we're going to try and make it as simple on you and your family as possible.
Yeah, and that makes a difference. Being veteran owned is a good thing. It seems like every veteran-owned company always has higher integrity, always does a better job. And if somebody wants to get a hold of you, the best thing to do is, first of all, go to the website and check it out because there are a lot of reviews and a lot of information. And I do think that it's smart to do as much research as you possibly can do. But the name kind of says it all. Jeff Buys Your House. And you've been doing it for a long time, since 2007. So this is not new for you.
Yeah, this is something we've been doing, like you said, almost 20 years, and happy to serve all of Chicagoland, whether it's a condo, a townhome, or your typical, single-family home. We're out in the suburbs, we're in the city, but we'd love to speak with you, understand your needs, put together that custom package for you, meet you right where you are, and then come out with a no obligation offer, and at least educate you about this process. And if it's not a good fit, we're okay with understanding that we're not going to buy every house, but we hope to leave the person that we're meeting with, the seller in this case, we're hoping to leave them in a better place than we found them. I think that's what you'll see.
Yep. Jeff Neidinger with Jeff Buys Your House. Go to jeffbuysyourhouse.com. This is Home Answers on AM 560, The Answer.